Welcome to today's episode of In the Gym. I'll be your host, Michael Petrella. We're going to take a look today at famous sets and rep schemes that have been used over the years. There is no one right way, and we're going to show you a few different variations. Also, we're going to be looking at basic bodyweight exercises, looking at the chin-up, the dip, and the push-up, and how we can start from a beginner level and work up to an advanced level. Finally, we're going to be showing uses for exercise bands and showing variations how we can bring new life into old exercises. One of the most common questions I get asked in the gym is how many sets and how many reps do I need to do to build muscle? Now, there's no one answer to this, and different trainers, different bodybuilders, different strongmen and powerlifters have been using a variety of different methods for years and years to try to develop optimum levels of size and optimal levels of strength. We're going to talk a little bit about some of these variations that have become quite popular over the years, and then I'm going to demonstrate one with Landon that may be new to some viewers. When it comes to strength as your primary goal, a lot of strongmen, a lot of powerlifters, they like to use the lower reps, normally not going above about 5 repetitions. The 5 sets of 5 reps became very popular through a gentleman named Reg Park, who is not only an exceptionally strong athlete, but a world-class bodybuilder. The protocol would be doing 5 sets where the first 2 would be 5 repetitions of a warm-up weight getting progressively heavier, with the last 3 sets being 5 reps with the same weight. Once you could complete all 5 of those repetitions with the last 3, you would then increase the resistance. Another gentleman named Arthur Jones believed that all that was necessary was 1 set, as long as you went to momentary muscular failure. Basically what he was saying is you had to work exceptionally hard, that during just 1 set, you get everything the body needed to adapt. What we're going to show today is a gentleman named Vince Gironda's work. Some people would also know this as German volume training. And what I'm going to get Landon to do is 8 sets of 8 repetitions. Now, Vince Gironda called this the honest workout. And I think what he meant by that was once you do this with the appropriate resistance, you know that you have worked quite hard. The one thing that's probably going to be a little bit different is that we're only going to take about 15 seconds between his sets. So there's going to be almost no break, just a little bit for him to reset. So the weight that we're going to select, it's going to be quite a bit less than if I needed him to do just 1 set. The first few sets may actually look quite easy for him. But as he progresses, as we limit that time between those sets, you're going to see the fatigue build up. I also like this style of training for people that may have some sort of joint issue because you don't need a large amount of resistance relative to your strength to get a great workout in. So we're just going to use a very simple pull down. Landon, I'm going to get you to just grab the bar, and every set is going to be 8 repetitions. Perfect. Every repetition, he's stretching up to the top, coming to a nice hold. Perfect. Good repetitions, Landon. Keep going. Good. Come on. Now, I'm going to use a stopwatch so we can make sure that it's 15 seconds. If you don't have access to one, you can just count it off in your head. Obviously, it's not a lot of time. Some people even like to count their breaths in between sets. And you can go right back into it, Landon. Perfect. Again, he's always making the nice hold in the contracted position, showing full control over the resistance. Come on up. Good. It's going to be another 15 seconds. I always want to make sure that you're breathing between these sets. Deep breathing, get as much oxygen into the system as you can. This is going to help with your recovery. Okay, 3 seconds here, Landon, right up. And you're right back into set number 3 here. 2. Good. You can see his form, still the same. He's not showing that much fatigue yet. Come on down. A couple more, Landon. Perfect. Come on up. Good. Good. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. You're going to notice that in the working muscle, it's going to get quite warm very quickly. He's working well. His form is perfect. The form is going to try to start breaking down. We want to make sure that it's exactly the same as the first set. You're right back into it, Landon? Keep getting that stretch in the lats. Good. Never hold your breath. Breathe out as you come down. Good. 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 One more on the set. And come on up. Great. Now you're starting to see Landon is slowing down a little bit here. The weight is starting to feel heavier. Obviously we haven't changed the resistance, so it's the same weight, but he is starting to recruit more muscle fibers. He's starting to fatigue. Right back into it. Good. We're past the halfway point now. He's working hard. Keep going. Good. Good. Keep breathing. Breathe freely. Good. Come on down. Good. Come on up. Good. Now you're starting to see with the bar, it's starting to change the path a little bit. His body is trying to find different muscle fibers. It's coming out in front of him. So on this next set, we're really going to focus on getting this right straight down just like it was on the first set. It's yours. Tighten that form. There we go. Tight. Good. Perfect, Landon. Come on, make that hold still. We don't want to make the exercise easier. We want to make it harder. Good. Keep working. Come on. Down, down, down. Good. One more repetition. All the way. Good. Perfect. Now we got a couple more sets left. We are going to attempt to get 8 repetitions on all of them. Now this brings me to a good point. If you do not get all of the repetitions, if you don't get the 8 sets of 8 reps, you're going to use the same weight the next time you do it. Back into it. Almost done here, Landon. Good. Stretch up. Form stays perfect. Stretch up. Good. Good. Yep. Stay here. Stay here. Use the back. Use the back. Good. Keep working. Keep working. I want 2 more repetitions on this set. Elbows down. Elbows down. One more. Go. 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 Come on. Good. We'll do one more. We got 1 set left. You can clearly see fatigue is setting in. He's working much harder. He's starting to breathe a little bit heavier, but we only got 1 left, and this is going to finish off his back workout. We got 3 seconds here, Landon. Okay, nice strong grip. Right into it. Last one. Down. Good. Make it your best set. Stretch right up to the top. Good. Good. Okay, don't change your posture. Elbows down. Use the back. Use the back. Use the back. Give me another one. Give me another one. Go. Go. Finish it. Finish it. It's going to be the last one right there, Landon. Perfect. So for the very last set, he was just a couple of reps short. We would typically leave this weight for the next workout, and we'd hope that he then gets those 2 repetitions. Now, because he was so close to getting 8 sets of 8 reps, if he came in for his next back workout and he felt fantastic, we may just go up resistance still. For some people, this is all you need to train the back in any given workout, especially if you're doing a full body routine. He's actually done quite a few repetitions. He just didn't spend a lot of time between sets. He didn't spend a lot of time socializing. He's working very hard. He's getting the work done that needs to make the back grow stronger and for it to adapt. Again, he can pretty much walk away from his back workout now if he wanted to. When it comes to training for muscular development, you don't always need fancy equipment. In fact, some of the best exercises are just very simple bodyweight exercises, using your own body weight to move through time and space. Now, one of the major drawbacks is a lot of people can't actually use their body weight when we're doing a chin-up or a dip, for instance. That amount of resistance is just too much. So we're going to show you a progression on how you can take body weight off, how you can make it a little bit easier, hopefully work up to the point where you can use your body weight. And then for further progression, you want to actually add resistance to you. So we're going to show the chin-up, the dip, and then we're also going to show you how to do this with push-ups. So I'm going to get Reed here to do some chin-ups. Now we're going to assume for a minute that he is unable to use his body weight. At some gyms, they have a device called an assisted chin dip. Sometimes it's called a gravitron, where basically a movement arm comes out and helps bring weight off of your body weight. If you don't have something like this, you can just use a very simple exercise band, and by looping it from the top, the resistance of the band will help pull you up. So I'm going to get Reed to get into the machine. He's going to grab the top bar, underhand grip, Reed. Now, this would be better if he got both his legs underneath this band, but he might be doing it himself. We do find that if you just get one knee into the band, it does work quite well, and it's a little bit easier to get in and out by yourself. So I'm just going to bring this down, Reed. Just one knee in. That's perfect. And he's going to come up, hold, good. I want you to come down to a nice full stretch. Now, I don't want you to unlock, Reed. You're going to come right up to the top again. Hold, good. And when you come down, I want you to come down as far as you can, but right up, just touch low, right about there. Nice extended arms, but he still has tension in his lats, which is what we're trying to work here. Get you to a few more repetitions here, Reed. Coming up, hold. He's coming up nice and high onto his chest with that bar. Give me two more, actually, Reed. Yep, and do it in succession. All the way down, nice smooth turnaround, and come all the way up, hold. That's perfect. You come down, then you just kind of bring your one leg to the ground, band comes out, and that's perfect. So once you can do this for 12 to 15 good repetitions, the next progression would be using a lighter band. This is a fairly thick band. And again, you can get a set of these online relatively cheap. Now, once you've progressed in your training or you're already quite strong, you want to be able to do this with your body weight. So again, the form is going to be almost identical. Reed, I'm going to get you to jump back up there one more time. Now, it's going to be just a little bit different. When you have a band or you have a movement arm underneath you, it actually helps stabilize you a little bit more. So now he's going to have to control his sway front to back when he's just using his body weight. So Reed, I'm going to get you to do another few repetitions. Come up. Again, his form is going to be the same. You're going to find you're going to have to keep your midsection just a little bit tighter to stop from coming back and forth. Good, Reed. Show a nice smooth repetitions, hold. Again, a lot of people, they try to swing back and forth underneath this bar. They're making the exercise quite a bit easier. If he's pulling straight up against gravity, it's going to make it very hard. Good, we're going to do one more here, Reed. Showing fantastic form. Come on up, hold, and that's perfect. Come on down. Excellent, excellent. So once you can do, again, 12, 15, maybe your goal is to do 20 body weight chin-ups. This is actually relatively strong for most people. But somebody like Reed, he has been training for a while. He has strength beyond this. So now we actually want to add resistance. So the easiest way to do this is to just get what's called a weight belt. And a weight belt just sits across your waist, and you can actually hang weight from it. So we're going to put one on Reed, and we're going to get him to do this chin-ups again. And again, you're going to see, I want the form to be identical. So Reed, I'll give you this belt. Now again, Reed is going to use a big plate here. This could be a big, big jump in resistance for most people. Even just adding a couple of pounds to your body weight is going to be a good first step. So Reed, I'm going to get you to just walk up the steps here. Now I want you to watch that weight because it can hit your knees, especially when you're using a lot of resistance like Reed is about to. Same grip, grabbing the bar nice and hard. And you're going to come up nice and smooth here, Reed. Perfect. Now you're going to ease down. You see he's working much harder now because this is closer to the resistance he would use in a real workout. Ease down, Reed. That's perfect. Up nice and strong. Fantastic. Ease down. I'm just going to get you to do one more. Right up. Hold. Perfect. Come on down. Watch your step there. Fantastic, Reed. So very quickly, we're going to show you the exact same progression with dips. So by doing this exercise, Reed has worked his biceps, he's worked the major musculature of his upper back. So now we're going to show the same thing, but working the chest, the triceps, and the front of the shoulders. So using the dip bars, we're fortunate enough that it's all one piece here, but you can just basically take bars. You can actually put them right into the studs of any sort of garage. When it comes to a bar, you can just bolt it up onto a beam. Very, very simple exercises here. It's going to be the exact same thing. We're going to hang the band nice and high. And Reed, I'm going to get you to jump in there again. Same as the chin-ups. We're only going to put one leg in. Let this come in front of you here, Reed. And I'm going to help him get this in. And again, the weight, or his body weight, is being partially supported by this band. He's coming down nice and deep, activating the chest and shoulders. Now stay at the top for a second here, Reed. If you have any sort of discomfort in the shoulders and the chest, I want you to limit some of this range. So come down to about 90 degrees with your arms, Reed. right about there. For most people, come on up, that's going to be a good range of motion. Now Reed, he has no issues, he has no injuries, he has very good range. I'm going to get you to do 2 more reps where you come all the way down, Reed. Gets nice and deep, activating that chest, good. And we're going to do 1 more repetition. Perfect. So I'm just going to help you out here, Reed. Good. Again, I sound a little bit like a broken record, but once you can do 15 to 20 repetitions, you're very comfortable with that resistance, you can go to a lesser band, or in the case of a machine that allows you to put a counterweight on it, you put lesser weight, and the goal is to eventually work up to your body weight. So Reed, same thing, dips with just your body weight. And again, he's crossing his legs behind him. This is going to help stabilize his body. He's not swinging back and forth. Slight tilt forward is helping him use the chest. I'm going to get you to do 1 more here, Reed. That's perfect. Very good. I'll get you to come down. Now, just like the chin-ups, Reed has progressed further than just using his body weight. If we want to get him to do as many repetitions as he could with his body weight, he might be able to do 30 or 40 of them. When the repetitions get this high, generally it's too easy. People have a harder time building muscle in that high of a rep range. So again, I'm going to get him to put the belt on. It's exactly the same weight belt, same resistance. That's good. Make sure it's nice and secure on the lower back. And it's going to be the exact same thing. The form is never breaking down. Even with this added resistance, there's another 45 pounds pushing down here. Good. Coming nice and low. Tracking his elbows perfectly. Good. We're just going to do 2 more repetitions here, Reed. Push through. Good. I want 1 more repetition. Perfect. That's fantastic, Reed. To get you to come down. So those are 2 very simple exercises that you can do in a garage, in a basement, or at a well-equipped gym. Now the third exercise we're going to show is push-ups. Almost everyone has done push-ups at one time or another. Now the goal is to be able to do them keeping your body nice and parallel with the ground with your back completely straight. Some people though, they can't do this, or they can't do this for very many. So the first thing I'm going to get Reed to do, you're just going to lay on the ground in a position to do push-ups. Now I'm going to get him with his hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. As you come in more narrow, it becomes more difficult, but he's also working more triceps. I want him to be working the chest, so we're going to come out a little bit wider. Now, let's assume he could not do standard push-ups. He just didn't have the strength to. What you can actually do, Reed, I'm going to get you to get into the very top position by using your knees. So instead of pushing up with your arms, you're going to use your knees, but I'm going to get you to bring your whole body up. You're in the starting position. I'm going to get you to actually just lower the resistance of your body in about 5 to 8 seconds. So I'm going to get you to do a couple lowerings here, Reed. I'm going to count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And you're going to use your knees to get back up. I know you can push with your arms, but use your knees to get up. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And use your legs. Pretend you're not strong in the upper body here, Reed. And you're going to lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. Now, once you can lower yourself for, again, 10, 12, 15 repetitions under nice control, we're then going to progress to using positive resistance, or basically you're pushing. So again, Reed, I'm going to get you to bring your legs back. He's keeping his back nice and straight. It's a nice parallel line with the ground. You're going to come down as low as you can. You're bringing your chin right to the ground. Push straight up. Good. Easing down. Now, I want you to slow that lift just a little bit. Nice and smooth, Reed. I know you can move that weight very fast. Good. We're going to do a few more repetitions here. Nice and strong coming up. Perfect. And just 1 more. Come on up. Perfect. So we're going to show 1 more progression. As you can see, Reed, again, can do quite a few push-ups. So we would need to add resistance to make this a more challenging exercise. Now, one of the ways you can do this, if you have a spotter or a trainer, you can just put weight plates on the back of the trainee. The problem with this is these weight plates, they do tend to slide. They're not the safest way of doing things, but it can be done effectively. What is a safer method we have found is just using these bands. So I'm going to give you these bands, Reed. And what you do is you put them in your hands, and then you're actually going to toss them around your back. I'll give you a hand here. Get them up nice and high on your back. Okay, now I'm going to get you to come down. So your hands are holding the tension. They came a little loose here, Reed. Right there, perfect. Push up. And you can see the actual tension of the bands is pulling him down. Bring your hips up just a little bit here. As he comes down, the bands are going to get easier, but as he pushes up, there you go, they stretch and they're going to add this resistance. Again, you can use some very, very thick bands of this once you become comfortable with the exercise. Do a couple more here, Reed. Push up. Good. I want you to lift your lower back up just a little bit. Good. Come on down. Push through. Perfect. That's all we need, Reed. That will be great. So again, very simply, we can do chin-ups, we can do dips, we can do push-ups. There's all kinds of these body weight exercises that are fantastic exercises. Do them safe, do them productively. If you can't do them with your body weight first, you can use things like these bands to assist you. There are some machines that help you with that. And then once you can do your body weight, the idea is to make the exercise harder. Again, by adding the bands to create more tension or by adding external resistance to your body weight. One of the easiest things that you can do to change up a workout routine is to just employ exercise bands. Now, these rubber exercise bands, they come in several different tensions. You can buy a whole set relatively cheap, and you can add them to all kinds of different exercise to change the resistance curve and to really come up with some new exercises that are going to challenge the muscles and really come up with a different feeling. Now, the first thing I'm going to get Valerie to do is just a very simple lateral raise with these bands. Now, a lot of people do these with dumbbells, still a great exercise. We have some fantastic machines in here where we also do them with, but by using these resistance curve, it has a very, very unique feel. I'm just going to get Valerie to do 2 or 3 repetitions. You're going to come right up to the sides as wide as you can. Perfect. Ease down. She's coming to a 1-second pause, showing full control. Right up, ease down. That's perfect. I'm just going to get you to do 1 more repetition, Valerie. Right up, and come on down. That's perfect. Now you can see she is keeping very good posture the entire time, very good control over the resistance. Now this can also be done in conjunction with a dumbbell. She could hold a light dumbbell in her hand and change the resistance curve by holding onto both the dumbbell and also the exercise band. This can also be a fantastic warm-up exercise for someone who has very strong shoulders. These might not be enough resistance. You could do 15 to 20 reps, really get the shoulders warm before you go into much heavier pressing motions. The next exercise I want to talk about is actually one of my favorite to do with bands. It's exercise for the rotator cuffs. So Valerie is going to use a shoulder horn device for this. We're going to show that in a second. But what I want to get into right now is showing how to anchor these bands to the ground. Now there's a couple different ways to do it. Now what we did with the first exercise is we just anchored it to these pegs. Now we're fortunate enough to have a power rack that has pegs built in, and that's really great. If you didn't have something like this, or you didn't even have a rack, you could use dumbbells. You just put dumbbells flat on the ground, use a heavier dumbbell. The dumbbell, of course, has to be a heavier weight than the tension from the band, or it would lift it. You can put them anywhere on the ground, in front of you, beside you. You can change the vectors of the resistance curves. These bands can really get versatile when you're training. Now we're going to show you an even easier way of doing it. Valerie, I'm just going to give you these bands. And we're actually just going to anchor them to her feet. Very simple way of doing it. I'm going to hold the bands for 2 seconds, Valerie. You're going to put the shoulder horn on. Now this shoulder horn is just a very simple device that's going to allow her to keep her arms up when she's doing external rotation of the shoulder. You can actually just put your arm up on any sort of board. A brace, I've seen people use these power racks. They just use the safety catches. That'll work just fine. Give this to you, Valerie. Now again, with good posture, just like she used on the lateral raise, she's just going to bring her hands up and backwards. Perfect. All the rotation is occurring in the shoulder. Come on down. Perfect. Now I don't want any movement in her body. Perfect. Now what a lot of people do, just leave it here for a second, Valerie, is in the bottom, and the same thing will happen in a bicep curl. People tend to lean forward and they're trying to make it easy. Also at the top, as she's coming up, people will tilt their hips forward and they're trying to gain leverage on the resistance. Once you have your posture, all I want is the rotation to be around the shoulder. Just show a couple more here, Valerie. Coming right up, keeping as close to 90 degrees as you can with the arms. One more, Valerie. Pop up, hold, and ease down. That's perfect. That's going to offer direct resistance for the rotator cuff. Most shoulder injuries we find are rotator related. It does tend to be the weak link in the shoulder. This can be fantastic for strengthening them. And just like we did the lateral raise with the band, I do like to do this to warm up before we get into heavy shoulder work. When we add bands to typical barbell exercises, we're looking to not only add resistance, but we're also looking to change the resistance curve of the exercise. So when we look at a basic bicep curl, which is what we're going to do right now, as we get past the sticking point, the exercise is getting easier and easier, and thus the biceps are working less and not as hard. So by just adding these bands to the bar, we're able to make the exercise much harder at the top, where Mike's leverages are going to increase when he's doing the exercise. Now, I will also say one thing before we do this. In terms of gym etiquette, normally this power rack is used for the bigger lifts like squatting and deadlifting. There's some very strong people that do what's called a rack pull, where they can load up all kinds of weight and do partial range exercise. This is really what these are made for. Using a lighter weight exercise like the bicep curl in this is not considered to be favorable in the gym. We're just using it because it's easy for us to add the bands to it, and also it's easier for shooting this episode. Now I'm going to get Mike to grab the bar. Now he's just going to use a medium grip. He could also use a narrow grip, a wide grip. This is really a personal preference thing. And we're just going to do a couple of just quick repetitions, Mike. Yep, hold to the top, ease down. Just going to get you to 2 more. He's always showing control. Perfect. 1 more repetition, Mike. Good. Come on down. I'm just going to get you to hold the bar right there for a second, Mike. Now, even in this bottom position, where the weight is just hanging here, you're going to notice it's a bit of a different feel than when you just have dead weight. I want you to come about halfway up, Mike. Now, if he was just using standard weight, this is where he'd be encountering the most resistance. But as he comes up to the very top, you can see these bands are pulling quite a bit more. He's probably experienced about 20, 25 more pounds of resistance because we are using a light band. Come on down, Mike. So another thing we like to do to increase intensity of an exercise is I would get Mike to do a full set with these bands on, somewhere in the 8 to 12 repetition range, and then very quickly we would strip the bands off, leave the bar weight on, and then he would continue extra repetitions past that point. The total resistance he'd be encountering will be less, thus he can continue. It's a very hard way of training. It's a very result-producing way of training. Thank you for watching today's episode. I hope that what we showed you today inspires you to use some variation in your workouts. You might get a little bit more creative. If you have any more questions, please feel free to contact me. Our website is www.stgstrengthandpower.com.